Hey everybody, and welcome to my second video about Pokemon Go. The first one got 26 views, which is more than I thought it would, so we're going to keep continuing with this. We're going to be in the 2025 Championship Series Cup in the Great League, trying a really unique team. I don't really like doing stuff where I use the meta Pokemon like Licky Licky, Dunsparce, all that, so I try to mix up the teams whenever I can, hence this weird team. This team performed actually pretty well. The Crocodile and the Cleavor are both very frail, but they also both do a lot of damage, so we were able to offset that. And I did pretty well with this team. Getting into the commentary, we just took out that Obstagoon with Cleavor's super high damage, and they bring back in their Furret, so we'll hit him with an X-Scissor. Cleavor just does so much damage. Like, Furret would normally not take that much from a neutral attack. We'll let this move go through. So Trailblaze doesn't quite kill us, but we can't quite kill them in return. But we can just switch back to Obstagoon, where they bring in their Golisopod, which Golisopod's really rough for this team. Bug types in general, but Golisopod's one. He's got a super effective against all of our Pokemon, so there's not really much we can do here. We can just try our best. We'll shield up this X-Scissor. Try to go for some Brick Breaks to bait their shield. They get another X-Scissor off, unfortunately. Or Aqua Jet, sorry. And we can get to our Brick Break, lower their defense again, which is nice and all, but they can still shield it. And we get to another Brick Break, but it's not going to be enough to kill, unfortunately. So that's going to put us. Oh yeah, we get hit. We're not able to kill them with counter, so we get hit with an X-Scissor, and it's just down to Crocodile with an ounce of health. Can Crocodile do it? No, the Sucker Punch comes in too fast, and Crocodile is not able to win. Going into the next match here, I promise this team wins. We have a Furret. This is the reason why I have Obstagoon in the lead, because there's not much fighting type damage as far as quick moves and fast moves, and people like to lead with normal types all the time. Here we have in the Drapion. We're going to go ahead and shield up the Aqua Tail, hit them with a Brick Break, lower their defense, and hope to get the shield from them. Nice. We can shield up the second Aqua Tail, and then from here we'll be able to kill him with the Mud Slap. Get some nice extra energy on there. Comes back in with the Furret. We can hit him with Brick Break. This is exactly why I have Brick Break for all of these normal types. There are so many normal types, and Brick Break does decent damage to them while lowering their defense, so it's great utility to have. Trailblaze comes through, not doing much damage. Then they bring in a Rangaroo, which really has no play against Obstagoon. Trailblaze is all he can go for, and even then it's not doing that much damage, and Confusion is double resisted. So we can use Night Slashes all day. Just take him down. They go for the Brutal Swing, which is really interesting. You'd think they'd go for the Trailblaze. And we are able to get to the Night Slash, it looks like, right as they were about to get to their other move, so that works out. And then they have a little bit left on Furret we can take out without losing a single Pokemon. That will get us 4 out of 5 for that set. I started the video in the middle of the set just to get some more battles in. I didn't quite want to do 10, but 5 didn't seem like a lot. I have, in the spirit of making fun teams, I have been collecting Flamigo to try to use in the team, but as you can see, I don't even have enough Stardust to give him a second charge attack, because cost of making all these new Pokemon like Cleavor and Crocodile is that I run out of Stardust very quickly, about as fast as I get it in, so I never have more than a couple 100,000 at a time. Here's another bug type, which is a huge problem, but not as big of a problem because it's an electric type. Here I decide to stay in for some reason, to lose the CMP tie, for them to not only hit me with a lunge and lower my attack, but also lock me into a Night Slash, which is kind of my bad. They do end up blocking it anyway, thank goodness, and I can finally switch to Crocodile, which I should have done a long time ago. And another CMP tie gets the lunge off again, lowering our defense or our attack yet again, but the brick break is going to lower their defense, so it will offset it. And they bring in Umbreon, which is really interesting because Crocodile's not very tanky, sure, but Umbreon isn't very good at dealing damage, and all of his damage here is Dark-type damage, which really isn't that useful. Instead of keeping him in, though, I do switch in Obstagoon, because Obstagoon's matchup is a little bit better, and Crocodile is the better Pokemon to have in the endgame. Here we can just wait and take as many foul plays as we'll need to, because once again Umbreon does not have a very high attack. We actually end up taking 3 before getting to a single cross chop. Obstagoon's really feeling that counter nerf. But we are able to get to the cross chop finally and take out the Umbreon. Their final... Well, here's the Galvantula, but their final Pokemon that they're going to have is going to be the Licky, which would normally be a piece of cake, but with that extra shield that they have, we're going to have to play this smart. I go for the X-Scissor, they don't shield it, and I go for the switch on Crocodile to catch the Earthquake. I was hoping that this was going to be a Shadow Ball or a Body Slam, in which case we win handedly, but it's never that easy, is it? Of course it's an Earthquake, but that doesn't matter because Kleavor does so much damage that we're able to just barely farm down the Licky before he can get off another Earthquake. He was probably right there. We just barely got it in time. And that's why we have Kleavor around, for that big burst damage of the Fury Cutter. Next matchup is another phenomenal lead against a Greninja. The leads are very polar with Obstagoon. It's either a Bug type, which you lose, or really anything else, like a normal or a Dark type. Here they switch to their Galvantula, we switch to our Crocodile, shield up the lunge as always. This team is very reliant on shields. They actually let this move go through, which is fine, and then they stop attacking, interestingly, which is good for me, I guess. They do make me wait a little bit, but after their little break, they come back, and they bring in Furret, and we're hitting them with another Brick Break. This really shows why we need Brick Break on this Pokemon. Instead of, I had Crunch before, and it just wasn't working out very well. Outrage does come in useful sometimes too, but not very often. Here they bring in their Greninja back to against the Obstagoon. Obstagoon can hit him with a Cross Chop, and then we can just let this move go through because we don't really need to shield it, and we can bring in our Kleavor to knock him down with Fury Cutter. Just look at how much damage that does. He barely gets an attack off in time, even though Greninja is so fast at getting attacks off. We're able to kill him with Fury Cutter here, and then we just have to take care of the Furret. I do use an attack here because I think it's no use trying to kill him with Fury Cutter. But I do end up killing him with Fury Cutter because he had to make a decision there. There was no way he could win unless he gets 2 consecutive attacks off. And so that's what he was trying to do. He figured getting 1 off isn't going to help him, so he needs to try to get the 2 while he has the chance. He did not have the chance, though, because Kleavor has such a high attack. When I talk about bug types being bad, Ariados is the worst one. Interestingly, though, they do switch out of Ariados into Kingdra. I think about going for the Outrage, but realize I'm doing enough damage that a Brick Break will be fine. They end up shielding it anyway. We almost get to another Brick Break, but they can unfortunately use the Octazooka, which I swear always lowers my attack. And then we can hit them with another Brick Break, which they interestingly decide to shield up, even though they're going to die anyway. So now we are up a shield, and we have the switch advantage. They bring in the Licky, and we're able to get to another Brick Break to both lower their defense and deal some good super effective damage. And while they can kill us with Rollout. But unless they have Earthquake, they can't really hurt Obstagoon, so we can just let this Body Slam go through, which is super effective for some reason, and then they switch back in their Ariados. We can actually take a lunge, but we can't take more than that, so we just let that first lunge go through, lowers our attack, but we still have our shield. We're able to shield this move up, and then shortly we can go for the Stone Edge. Even despite the 2 debuffs, it's Kleavor with a super effective move, and it's a Stone Edge, which is relatively powerful, so we're able to take him out in 1 hit. They bring their Licky Licky back in, but we are just one cross chop away from taking this battle. They can get off a last-ditch body slam, but it will not be quite enough to take out my Obstagoon, and we can hit with the cross chop and win that battle. This team has performed a lot better than I expected, especially the Crocodile, which I didn't expect to do much, but the rock resistance is nice, considering there are almost no other Pokemon that resist rock in this cup. And Dunsparce and the other one, Licky Licky, are just so common that you need a rock resistance. Like the Licky Licky here, which is not a great matchup for him, so he gets out of there in a hurry. And I get distracted during this match because I keep Obstagoon in against the bug type and try to go for an attack instead of just switching to Cleavor and trying to win the Fury Cutter battle. Because this is tragic. It ends up putting me down now 2 shields with seemingly no way out of this battle. I can't even get the full farm down without the risk of them getting off another Aqua Jet and really screwing me in this battle. So I just go for the move, and while they bring in their Licky Licky, they're just going to be able to shield whatever I throw, so it doesn't really matter how much damage Cleavor does. And we try to get to another, and that should have honestly given it to me. I should have had one more rollout. That last one seemed to do more damage than the other one, but that's the way it is sometimes, and that pretty much seals it. If this was a foul play in Power Gem Sableye, maybe we could have won this, but it never is. It's never the moveset that I need it to be, and we're going to get hit with the return here, which will take us out. And we can take out the Sableye with a Night Slash, but they have their entire Licky Licky, and that's going to be it for that battle. The writing's on the wall at this point. There comes the body slam. Heading into our last battle of the video, make sure you drop a like because it really does help. I don't have many of those. I think the last video got 2, but I'm going to try. I'm going to keep trying until I start getting more likes. Here we have another Ariados. Now, I don't like that. Ariados is, once again, a terrible lead for us. And they end up switching to the Dunsparce in response to my Crocodile, which I don't think was a great idea because Drill Run is the only thing that can hit us with neutrally. Everything else is resisted, and we have the super effective Brick Breaks. Now, that could have been just a case of him not knowing what Crocodile had, because not many people use them, I don't think. I think I've maybe seen one in my life in battle, because they're just not very good, unfortunately, although they are cool looking. Dubwool, though, is another example of one who has a fighting-type move, which might even be better than Obstagoon for matchups, especially because it doesn't have the 4 times weakness to counter or to other fighting moves that Obstagoon does, so it might be a better pick. Anyway, the lunge is doing a significant amount of damage, so we have to shield this up, and it's just not looking good for us here. We can go for the X-Scissor bait. We do get it. They'll shield it up. We can shield up this lunge. I'm going to switch to my Obstagoon here. They're going to bring back the Dubwool. They can just block this attack, though, which they do. They end up getting a Body Slam, which I think was a mistake. They could have just killed me with Double Kick. We bring back in Cleavor, hit him with the X-Scissor, which will be able to knock him out. But there's just too much on the Ariados for us to win, and that will be our last battle of the day, unfortunately. So I ended up going 4-3 today with this team. There were 3 battles earlier, which I won with them, that weren't in this video. So really, it's 7-3, which is pretty good. But thank you guys for watching. I feel like this video went a lot better. I've got a better editing software, so I was able to commentate better. And still no script, but we'll figure that out at some point. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day.